it should come as no surprise that I love art. I believe that it's an amazing way to channel your creative side, whether it is through art, sculpture, painting, creative arts like performing, things like that. I love art in any way, shape, or form, and I strongly respect anyone that is willing to put themselves out there, because it's not easy. When you post any type of artwork on the internet or anywhere else, you're a little scared because you don't know how people are going to react. Are they going to like it? Are they going to dislike it? Will they enjoy it so much they use it as a screensaver? Or will they detest it so much that they will call you out on some bullshit? That is today's topic. Now, if you haven't heard of the topic of fixing your art, it is practically a different artist taking the drawing you created or character you created and quote-unquote fixing it to meet their standards, whether it's to make it more politically correct or to simply change it because they didn't like the design and thinking that they're the ones that are right. It's often something that is very shone upon. I will be showing you guys some examples, and we will be talking about them and why I specifically chose them. I will be excluding names of people involved, whether it's the original artist or the quote-unquote fixed it artist, because I do not want to start any beef. I don't want to bring any mad attention. I just want to put my opinion about this out there.
I hope you know that your opinion is now illegal.
So let's start with the first one. Valentine from Skullgirls. Now, if you don't know what Skullgirls is, it's a fighting game based around characters, and these characters are often very sexualized. But it's pretty much for the targeted audience. They're going for people that both enjoy lewd content and arcade fighting games. I can see the demographic, and I might fall under it if we're being honest. So here's Valentine. If you compare her to the other characters in the game, she fits in perfectly. Her anatomy, her looks, and how she's drawn extremely well. However, on this post right here, you can see that not everybody agrees. They completely change her. They reduce her breast size extremely. They pretty much cover up all of her skin. The only skin you can see is on her arms, like a little bit on her arms and her face. Also, she's not thick at all anymore, and I think they made her a little bit shorter. I don't know about that. I think that's just like the art style. But the problem I have with this is that they took a character from a game that's obviously over-sexualized and wanted to make it politically correct by making all these changes that I just mentioned. And that's not cool, because this is the creation of someone else. This is what someone envisioned, and they put it out there. And just going in and changing it because you don't agree with it, it's not cool at all, dude. It's not. Next up, we have Pyra from Xenoblade Chronicles. She is a character, I suppose. I've never played the game in my life from said game. And in her original art, as we can see here, she is definitely showing a little bit more skin. You can see thighs, you can see tummy, you can see a lot more skin. However, our friend right here decided it was not okay. That was just not okay. So he took it upon himself and did Nintendo the favor and fixed her up. He made her look better, more decent, more publicly correct, more politically correct, should I say. And why, dude? Why? Pretty much all he did in this one is cover up her thighs, because you can still... Well, actually, he covered up a little bit of her under tummy, give it a take, but the changes are minimal. But he still went through the time and effort to make it look as good as possible, putting it out there and saying he fixed her, because showing thighs and a little bit of tummy is not okay. And in my head, I can only question why these people do this. Like, what do they actually think? What do they think they're gaining from doing this? This next one, I'm not sure if it's bait or if it's actually true, but y'all remember that game Yandere Simulator with the psycho girl who was so focused on her senpai that she went around killing all her classmates? Well, how do you remember her? Like this, right? She was a little bit tall, she was slim, she was, I would say, probably on the lighter side on skin, color, stone, whatever you want to call it, but that was pretty much her, right? And with long hair, obviously long hair, she had long hair. But according to our good old SJW artist over here, that's not okay. So this is the result. I think it's bait. I really do think I'm being baited here, but in case I'm not, I just wanted to cover it. Those legs are, I feel like they're a little too short, too stumpy. Maybe it's the art style or not, but assuming looking at her arms and her face and head structure, I think the stumpy legs were done on purpose. Also, the skin tone is way too dark. I don't know why they decided to give her a huge, massive tan, but I don't know. I really don't know. I'm looking at this as I'm speaking to you, and all I can think of is why? Why would they do this? Also, I think they made her really short. This next one also has me a little bit confused. Because I don't think it's bait, but at the same time, the artist never really mentioned that she was or he was. I don't know who the artist was. That they were fixing the character. However, I still want to point this out as an example, because I'm gonna put the two images side to side. As you can see, they pretty much traced over the original drawing and gave it a couple changes. So obviously they made her a little bit chunkier. They completely changed her ethnicity, turned her from a pretty white girl into what I consider probably black. I think at this point it will be a black girl, and I don't understand why. If you look, especially in the shorts in the bottom, you can see that this was just traced over, and they just kind of drew on top of it. Which, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the whole tracing thing, but that's not the point of this video. We're talking about changing characters when they should not be changed. So we look at this, and she or he gave her shorts, longer skirt or whatever the hell that is, but at the same time they gave her more skin on her tummy side, and I think they covered up her chest side. I'm not sure if that's just shading or if that's like a complete vest. I'm not entirely sure. But the problem that I have with this is they changed the ethnicity of the character, so essentially this is not the same character anymore, but at the same time they're tracing on top of what was originally created. And that's kind of the issue that I have. They're taking current artwork, something that someone else already made, and then drawing on top of it and changing the entire character and claiming that it's better, it's fixed. Now, like I mentioned, I don't know if this artist actually intended for it to be quote unquote fixed or not. There was not a description on the drawing itself, but it's there, and I just wanted to put it as an example. And last but not least, what started it all off, and it is Nessa. Now, if you don't know who Nessa is, she's the water gym leader from the Pokemon game Sword and Shield. She's an African American or black, whatever you want to call it, character, and she looks pretty cool in my opinion. Her design is really dope. Her suit and everything makes sense. She's a water gym. Obviously, she's gonna have some swimsuits. But this Japanese artist created, in my opinion, a beautiful drawing of Nessa. And as you can see here, she is a little bit lighter than she actually is. She definitely is. I'm not gonna disagree with that. But at the same time, if you look at it and you compare it to the original, drawing of Nessa from Nintendo, the color palettes are not the same, which leads me to believe that the artist did not use a color palette. He did not use any reference pictures and just kind of like eyeballed the colors. And I do that all the time, and oftentimes it results in me having completely different shades of colors. But at the same time, it looks really neat, it looks really cool. But if you look over to the replies, you will see a different artist saying, "Fix it for you, please don't line darker skinned characters, thank you." And then proceeds to post a picture where Nessa in the original drawing is darker. But actually, in my opinion, she looks a little redder, but she's quote unquote darker. And did this other person actually do anything to the drawing other than putting it through a filter and changing the saturation? I really don't think they did. So, what can we take away from this? Fixing other people's art. You can do it, but don't expect to be the savior of the world, because honestly, you're not really doing anything. It pisses me off when people do this, because these people are putting out their artwork and they're putting all this time and effort and doing it entirely for free for the world to see. And yet people like to shit all over it because they don't agree with it and they don't agree with this message. At the end of the day, everyone is entitled to their opinion. And if you think I'm in the wrong, that's perfectly fine. You have your opinions and I have mine. But at least you have to agree with me that taking someone else's work and changing it just because you don't agree with it is not okay. It just isn't. Man, going through all of those goddamn redesign or fix pages on Tumblr was a little bit infuriating, I'm not gonna lie, but I decided to pick out the ones that stood out the most to me, and these were the winners. So I hope you enjoy this video. I try to put more effort into it. I try to make it look better. So I would really appreciate it if you dropped a like on the video to make sure to let me know that you enjoyed it. And if you enjoy this content, I'm gonna be trying to make more content like this. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It means the world to me when people join my channel, because it makes me feel like people actually like me, like they enjoy my commentary, if you will. Nonetheless, though, I do hope you have a wonderful day. Let me know what you thought about my opinion in the comment section below. If you want to have a civilized discussion, I'm more than happy to have it with you. But like I said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and until next time, don't do drugs, because those things are pretty bad for you. お前はもう死んでいる。